It is March 3rd, 2024. It's currently 8:16 a.m. and this is the magnified light that is piercing through what are closed blinds. The blinds are closed in an upward position, first of all, so no light would show, but I also want you to understand that this is magnification and it's coming through the small little thread of the blinds. This is impulsible light activity. This large gap right here, that's the center. This is magnification of light. This is a violent sex offense that I'm subject to. So I'm going to be very vivid so you understand the sex offender that is the state of California and the people of the state. And this is the threat that's posed. It is an ongoing a method of torment while you are aware of the fact that you are being subject to ongoing surveillance and criminal monitoring and those that are surrounding for this ongoing ceaseless criminal purpose. As I am in the private space inside of the restroom, necessarily removing my clothes, engaging in what is private activity, and it is a matter of public information. Every sound, every move that I make, in the same way that the entity is stalking with activity, with simultaneity to what I do, everywhere that I'm at on a ceaseless basis, in the same way that the entity is group stalking on a ceaseless basis, in the same way that the entity is engaging in the maintenance of engineered light on a ceaseless basis. While I am in the private space right now, and it's I'm not right now, but 8:17, I just stepped out, and then you're looking at, this is the torment that the entity is placing the targeted individual. This is what is speaking to the psychological and emotional damage, intangible, okay, and incalculable. While the entity, this is a public entity, this is the people of the state. This just address, excuse me, these addresses alone right behind that you can see out of my living room window, they're all monitoring. This is a matter of public information, what's going on inside of my bathroom, inside of my apartment. So understand, and that's just them right here. The entire property of Alvarado Gardens, they are monitoring and they are all jointly aware in real time of what's going on inside of my bathroom. In addition to that corrupt law enforcement agency, the Los Angeles Police Department, who is engaged in obsessive group stalking in the specific environment, maintaining ongoing surveillance and criminal monitoring, and it is sexually motivated, it is sexually perverted, it is that which is going on a ceaseless basis, and it is on a massive scale. So this is a sex offense that, again, has never been contemplated under existing state and federal laws, and this is the sex offender that is not only engaging in the criminal pattern of conduct, is, by the way, remember, monitoring the documentation so they know that they're being documented. They engage in what is the impossible, which is the admission of the fact that they are not only engaged in criminal monitoring because this is impossible light activity, it is also speaking to the admission of being the sex offender. That is the public entity, and that includes the people of the state. So I want to be clear, this is a joint and massive sex offense. You have what are the demon possessed that are engaged in sexually motivated and sexually perverted criminal monitoring, and they engaged in what is maintaining relevant position that is surrounding you in the specific environment while in the private space, engaged in private activity, and that's exactly what I was just subject to right now. While I'm inside of my bedroom, the entity is maintaining what is engineered light while I'm undressing, while I'm doing whatever. If I want to walk around my apartment in the nude, I'm subject to an ongoing reminder that I'm under surveillance. And if they are magnifying light into that which is closed, understand I have no reasonable basis to have any privacy whatsoever. Understand this is nothing other than absolutely impossible, just like you saw on the bedroom walls. Yesterday, as I engaged in that discussion of what is the sex offender that you are witnessing, engaging in an ongoing admission. This is going for the prosecution of the people of the state who will be prosecuted as what is a sex offender. Federal group stalking and monitoring, which shall be appreciated under federal law, is an exceedingly sexually violent offense that is committed by a public entity. The people of the state are the vicarious arm of that public entity. Everyone that is going to be prosecuted for federal group stalking and monitoring, everyone that is documented is going to be documented as a sex offender. Understand what the nature of the crime of federal group stalking and monitoring is. It's not just walking around and maintaining presence in the path outside, all right, outside of the apartment, or where they're outside and no, that's not it. It's a ceaseless, tormenting, sexually motivated, highly demented pattern of conduct that's executed by a government and utilizes everyone around you in that specific environment. And so all day and all night, while I remain in my private space, the entity is invading. This is a method of terrorism. This is terrorism, and it's also psychological and emotional harm while you are witnessing the fact that you are being subject to the system. And while you have to take a shower, you have to remove your clothing, you have to go use the restroom, you have to live and be and exist in your private space where the entity is invading. I want you to understand the magnitude of that violation. All right. And I want you to also understand how you are determining what are incalculable level of harm. Okay. It's never contemplated under existing law. It is that the sex offender is the state. There is no law that exists for the sexual violence that a public entity is engaging in. It doesn't yet exist. Okay. But with regard to justice, it is absolutely, as a matter of justice, you will definitely determine amount that is necessary as a matter of justice. But I want to be clear, there are additional laws that I advocate with regard to the multitude of harms, tangible and intangible, that the entity suffers while subject to this system. This is magnified light that is literally appearing through closed blinds. The threat, I mean, this is, and that's what I'm saying. It's an emission. Okay, it's a straight emission, and the entity maintains this. It changes color, it changes concentration, and you're also understanding what is the methods of a light. I remain subject to, this is impossible light. This is my shadow that is upright. So that's just the concentrated color that you're seeing appear and disappear. This is demonic. This is engineered light, which remains inside of my apartment at all times. I've already showed you this, but I want you to be clear. Do not be mistaken. That's just one method. At nighttime, you see the pattern of the blinds on the ceiling. Demonic. This magnified light through what are closed blinds, the thread that's holding it together, that's demonic. It's impossible light activity. This is demonic. A shadow that is upright, magnified in size, okay? This is demonic. You can see the light activity of my furniture. You have what is filling my space with engineered light. As I walk through the apartment, my shadow is magnified across everything. This is what is aiming engineered light inside of my private space. I want you to understand as well, the ongoing sex offense is that where the entity is also touching you, molesting your person with this engineered light, which is a tool for criminal activity. That is why it is unlawful. It is no ordinary thing for the entity to touch you with its engineered light. It is a tool served for criminal monitoring, and the entity engages in a demented pattern of surrounding and invading the space and also molesting the person. The entity is obsessed with touching you with this engineered light, surrounding you with engineered light. And by the way, while I'm inside of my private space and the entity is filling my private space with this engineered light, this is going to be prosecuted as an unlawful molestation, an unlawful touching with a tool of criminal conduct. They use the engineered light to monitor you. And that is also how you're going to understand what is the ongoing harms, tangible and intangible, as they engage in what are the highly demented methods of criminal monitoring and group stalking. It is currently 8:23 a.m. This is going for the prosecution of what is Ted Speaker. He's engaged in criminal facilitation. Not only his real property is a facilitating venue where the people of the state are living on and all around it, engaging in an ongoing ceaseless crime perpetrated by the people of the state in concert with the state acting directly through corrupt law enforcement agencies such as the Los Angeles Police Department. He is also going to be prosecuted. Understand, criminal facilitation. So in other words, you're enabling the government in any way, and the government includes the people. The people are not individuals anymore. Remember, when the pattern of conduct is underway, everybody that's in relevant position at the specific environment is the state. So where the state is engaging in a ceaseless criminal pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a federal sex offense. It's a mass sex offense. You have demons that are surrounding, and they're doing it while you're in the private space, while your panties are down, while your clothes are off, while you're washing your person, and they're engaged in an ongoing obsessive endeavor to monitor every moment all the time. Okay, that's a sex offender. On a grand scale, never contemplated under existing law. The entity also wants to fill the space and molest your person with engineered light. That engineered light, it's nothing to be dismissed. It's definitely relevant to what is an ongoing unlawful touching by a government that's placing you under surveillance in the private space as well. I want to be clear, Ted Speaker is going to be prosecuted, and while you are criminally facilitating that pattern of conduct, you are going to be prosecuted for facilitating that, not only at the real property. I live here and I work here. It's not a coincidence that his company is used as a malicious means of the same exact government, the same exact entity, the same exact pattern of conduct, the same exact phenomenon, in other words, occurring inside of my office while I'm at work, on the job. In other words, Ted Speaker and speaker companies are nothing other than third parties, and he will be prosecuted for criminally facilitating what is a mass sex offense, federal group stalking and monitoring. And that's just based on the criminal system. You're breaking it down. You're understanding what they're doing. You're understanding the level of malice. You're understanding the ongoing real-time knowledge. And that's how you're understanding the sex offender. That's how you're understanding the psychopath. That's how you are understanding and witnessing the obsessed stalker. Okay, it is currently 8:25 a.m. And again, I am at Alvarado Gardens located, and this is my apartment address, 1806 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 6. The people of the state surrounding relevant position engaged in an ongoing massive sex offense, because that's the reality of what federal group stalking and monitoring is. It's not just occurring outside when you're walking on the street. It's ongoing. It is every aspect of the targeted individual's life. All right. And you have that ongoing obsessive endeavor to monitor and group stalk, even in the private space. Like any other stalker that would want to record you in the bathroom, record you and follow you around and in the bathroom, you would prosecute that stalker as a very highly demented sex offender, and it is immediately and reasonably bringing into question their state of mind, and it is relevant to their prosecution. This is being committed by a public entity, and it includes the people of the state, all of whom are in relevant position in the specific environment, while I am subject to an ongoing sex offense that they're all engaging in together. All right. This is currently, it's 8:26 a.m. This is the ongoing admission going for the prosecution of the people of the state directly and vicariously, and the criminal facilitator, that's our TED speaker. His company and his real property is the crime scene, where the people of the state live on the crime scene and live all around the crime scene. I want to be clear. This is all the crime scene. The entity is keeping the light source here because they're all monitoring here. The entity is maintaining directed light here because not only they're the demon possessed, this is a criminal system that the demon possessed practice. It's exposing that. Their secrets, but it's also a criminal system that they're all engaging in together, and that's why you have the maintenance of a specific environment. And this is that which is insurmountable evidence against the entity. It would never occur, first of all, and second of all, you have what is the maintenance of a light source, which is not going to be hovering on the third floor in alignment to the window, shooting light like a laser through what are closed blinds in the upper position, in the same way that at nightfall, these light bulbs on the ground are not shooting light upward through closed blinds in an upper position, and creating what is light in my shadows on the ceiling. And in the same way in my bedroom, this same blind, and it's appearing on the side of the wall and going on an upward. This is all demonic light. And it's an ongoing admission while the entity continues to do the most asinine yet highly criminal, okay, psychotic, but it's an admission. You're going to prosecute the entity for it. All right. I just want you to understand a real-time example of the sex offense that I remain subject to. You're going to prosecute the entity for that. All right. It is 8:28 a.m. and this is P.O.C.